Hi you guys, welcome back to another little video. I was gonna do a little makeup with you guys while I got ready. Just a quick little chit chat, get ready with me, and honestly I'm kind of not in the mood to talk that much. I also just sneezed like 3 times if I sound stuffy, but I thought I would just do like a little voiceover slash get ready with me on YouTube and just share with you guys, I don't know, just what's up. And honestly, I thought I'd name the topic of this when you feel discouraged, how to keep going, and just kind of like, instead of always showing you guys, you know, the highlights of my life, I like to get on here also when I'm maybe not feeling 100% or things in my life aren't going as smooth as we all would hope. And I just like to shed light on that because that is real life, and that is honestly what makes everything just more real and people be able to relate to you. And I really feel like that's what I want to embody. I want to have other people like relate to me and let them not feel so alone, like they're in something by themselves, and that's just my heart. So yeah, I thought I would share with you guys just a little bit of some things like that. Yeah, I just know what it feels like to be discouraged. I know what it feels like to be in seasons where you're waiting for stuff and you're in a waiting season. You've had promises by God, or you've been working so hard at something but it just doesn't seem to flourish, or you get in your own way. And I just know exactly what that's like. And this morning, to be honest, I was just feeling the weight of stuff, and I had myself a nice big cry in the shower. So I feel like that's necessary here and there. And yeah, I just feel like sometimes life can just get hard, and I feel like for me, I'm a person who tries to always act strong, and I am a strong person. The things I've gone through, God has allowed me to go through for a reason, to get me stronger, and I believe He does that with everybody. All the things you're going through aren't going to break you. You are going to be able to get through them if you just continue to press on, it says in the Bible. And it also produces steadfastness and faithfulness. It produces perseverance. And I just feel like my life honestly has just been a big old thing of perseverance. And not to complain, but like, yeah, I'm human. Like sometimes it gets hard, you know. So like in high school, growing up, like I used to I don't know why I find it hard to like do makeup and talk. I don't know if other people feel that way. They make it seem so easy, but like I get I'm like, wait, what am I doing? I like blend my eye makeup for like 10 minutes and then I'm like, wait, I should probably move on to something else. I'm just kind of doing like, I don't even know, honestly, a very light makeup, pretty just like fresh. I'm going to work. So what I was saying was, in high school, I had a learning disability, so it was really hard for me to understand and retain information for whatever reason. It's not that I couldn't do it, obviously. I can retain information, but it was really difficult the way that the teachers would teach the curriculum. So for me, it was something that I struggled with like tremendously, because I would get really discouraged, which would make it seem like I didn't care. But I truly would just get really discouraged and I just shut down. So it kind of almost looked like I stopped caring about the curriculum, and the teacher would sometimes misunderstand me. But I really was just honestly very discouraged. And so I'm like, I always felt sort of bad for the teacher sometimes that I had classes with. Like I always was such a great student, but I could tell that my work didn't always represent like what I could 100% put in, because it would just take me like 2 to 3 times harder than the average person to just get like a basic, you know, like a B or something. So I kind of had a decision in those moments to either, you know, face the challenges head on and put my head down and really study and really learn how to work hard, or I could choose another route, which would to be lazy and just cut corners and kind of just pass by flying colors. And I'll be honest, like there were definitely classes and times that I 100% just didn't put in the effort, because I either wasn't retaining the information, was really overwhelmed. I also played soccer, so I did a lot of different things that I think for me was just overwhelming. And I would have, you know, tutors, and so There were definitely classes that like I just let myself get like a C or something. Not good at test taking and certain things like that. But one thing I learned throughout school was that I became a really good strategizer, which actually has helped me tremendously throughout life. And I noticed that because I was struggling, it would push me to have to go out of my comfort zone and like ask someone for help, or, you know, stay after with the class. I would like find myself like linking up with people to like get them to help. So that's kind of where my like I had to just be like strategic, you know, because I was really struggling, and if it wasn't for that I probably would have just failed, to be honest. So I feel like that really helped me throughout life. So I know like sometimes people in school, like I know there's so many people like me too who just aren't necessarily like type A like people. They have to like work harder or learn, study different for it to make sense to them. That's all to say, because I feel like this really propelled me into who I am today. Although I still find myself facing challenges, I'm sure everybody does, but there's still so many things that I struggle with when it comes to just like basic things. And I find myself having to find like in a position where I'm constantly having to persevere. And I'll be honest, like sometimes I get really discouraged and mad and upset, and I'm like, why is it so much harder for me versus someone else? Like how come like that person can get it on the first try, but for me it takes 2 to 3 more times. Like even my own, like my license, I literally failed my license test 2 times before I could get it. So it was that. And then I was playing soccer and I tore my ACL, so there was that setback. And then I went to college and I played, and all my friends wanted to find another house and not be my friend, so there was like that setback. And then when I was a senior, I tore my ACL again, so there was that setback. Like, and I don't say this to say like I'm a victim, I say this to say like I'm real, and this is real life, and these things can take a toll on who you are, but you have a decision to make, and you don't have to let the things that's happened to you define who you are, and you can persevere through them. And I literally feel like I'm a walking testimony of setback and struggle and like just getting through it. Like how do you get through the most basic stuff? Like I also was diagnosed when I was younger with ADHD, so my brain would sometimes just literally process things differently, and I'd find people like making weird faces at me, or like why don't you know, like I used to be really bad at directions when I would drive, and my friends would make fun of me. They'd be like, how do you not know where we're going? But it was just like the way my brain was. So what happened with that was it led me to have so much compassion towards people who maybe were a little bit different than I was. And that's honestly what's made my character of like who I am, and I see God in that so much. But that doesn't mean that things still don't come hard to me, that I don't struggle like for people. And I know what it feels like to feel like you're behind. I mean, I literally tore my ACL when I was 16, had to come back from it to get into college, walk on to college. Like I had to walk on, the pressure of walking onto a school when you didn't even know if you would make it, and that was the sport you loved, was, you know, something I had to make the team. I was like, I have no other way. Like I'm going to make the team. If it's the last thing I do, I don't care. And I feel like it's really made me have that mindset where I have to get it done. Like I don't care, there's no and if or but, and it's really made me persevere and be determined. And like it's like how do you continue to go through something when you're so stressed out, when you don't see, when it's harder for you? How do you finish college when you've had a learning disability and you struggle in every class? Like how did I do it? Like, you know. And I truly think putting my faith in Christ and just believing in myself. I think a lot of the times like I would give up on myself, and then I would just feel so sad and down, and there'd be like one person who would encourage me and be like, hey, like don't give up on yourself, you've got this, or one more time, like just try it one more time, like just keep going until you get it, like just don't give up. And I think there's so much power in that, finishing something you start, or just try again. Like, and it sounds so cliche, like literally, but I feel like prayer also really helped me. I wasn't really a Christian back in high school. I would like pray here and there, but not like I am today. My faith has like absolutely tremendously saved and helped my whole life, because I literally feel like if it wasn't for the encouraging voice of God within me, I would have 100% just given up on myself, and who knows what I would be doing. I'd probably not have the character that I have today. I would have cut corners. I probably would have just like everything would, I don't know, like, but I just feel like things don't come easy to me, but I still somehow manage to get through it. And also because, I mean, everybody talks about it and I feel like it sounds so cliche too, but like hard work really does work. Like, and I think just for a while, like I think being honest with yourself is important, because I also would get discouraged, but I was lazy. Like I really sulked in that. And then it felt debilitating. So I feel like just make sure you're working hard, and if you're discouraged, try your best to just do it one more time. Just set that, see yourself and envision yourself getting past that. And why can't you? Like, why not you? Just because it takes you a little bit harder doesn't mean that it's not possible. And I think that's what I always think about. And I always also think about, if I'm going through this, I know I'm not alone. I know that there's other people going through it. I want to be a testimony of someone who can push through hard things and still show up kind, and still show up like as someone who has conquered things and has courage and strength. And I think there's so much beauty in the pain that we don't see. Like, we skip over it because it's just painful, but there's so much beauty in the pain, and that's when you're building your character. It's truly like through those moments. Okay, so I got a phone call, and then I was just doing my makeup while I was talking, so I can kind of link the products. I basically just did concealer. I put this Airspun powder on top of it. I did a little bit of bronzer from the Glam Bronze in Megastar, and it's just this really big, chunky, pretty bronzer. I put that on the crease of my eyes a little bit, just like to give me a little bit of a shadow. And then I used a little bit of this MAC Up from Amazon. It's an eyebrow gel. So I just put my eyebrows up a little bit, curled my lashes, used the Sephora brand Size Up mascara, which is my favorite right now. It does transfer a little bit, so you just have to be careful of it and wipe it, but I do like how it gets my lashes really nice and full. I like mascaras that make them look full and fluffy, not like really thin. You know what I mean? And then I did a little mascara. I took a black liner and I just lined it with this CVS Master Precise All Day liner. Just did a little bit of liner. I low-key was trying to like do my makeup for, I'm going to dinner Saturday night, so I kind of just wanted to see how I would do it. So I kind of went a little, I like wouldn't do this for an everyday, but for work and stuff, I just thought it was pretty. What else? And then I did the bronzer a little bit down the bridge of my nose, and I also like to connect it a little bit too, like right here, so that it gives me a nice little shadow, and I accentuate it a little bit. And then what else? I did blush, so I used the Mario Badescu in the shade Raspberry. It's really pink, but it's not that pink. I mean, I guess it is, but it dies down and blends in. So I just do a little bit on my cheeks to make me look a little more flush. And then this is what's throwing me off, because I usually only do like a darker lip for nighttime. I do think the browns and mauves look really pretty on my skin tone, because I have a little bit more of like a pinky, like tanner complexion. So I did do a little bit of this new Makeup Forever lip liner in the color, I'm trying to get the color for you guys, Endless Cacao, and it's just like a light brown. It's not like brown, but it's pretty. So it's I don't know, I just lined I overlined my lips a little bit. Just did a little bit of the Victoria's Secret, it's called, what is this thing? Oh, it's called Electric. I did a little pink, and then I just topped it with this Victoria's Secret Strawberry Fizz like gloss in the middle, and then I like dab it so it's not too much. I also went over top, you guys are probably like, what are you doing? But I went over top with this Satin Shimmer Soft Box Cream lipstick. It's like, I don't know, it gives it like a little like hyaluronic-y effect, which I think is pretty, like a shimmery kind of effect, which I don't know, I've been liking recently. So I just did a little bit of that, and then I feel like I'm missing, oh, and then this is all over the place, but I did a little bit of the Glow Gasm weird name, Beauty Light Wand High Blush. It's in this like peachy kind of color. It's really pretty. I just put it on like the high points of my cheeks and my nose a little bit. And yeah, that's about all I did for my makeup. But like I was saying how don't let the things that discourage you stop you from the life that God's created you to have. I know that it can be discouraging, and I also want to preface, like, sit in that, like, don't be afraid to also sit in that type of feeling, right? But there's so much beauty on the other side of it. Like, I feel like when I go through something, I'm so proud of myself, and I have so much love and joy for myself, because I know I could have easily given up, but I don't. And I think it's really going to build your self-confidence when you keep promises to yourself, and you're like disciplined, and you don't do things just off of your feelings, but rather you do it off of the way that you push through stuff. And yeah, it might be harder for you and easier for someone else, but we don't know the shoes that people walk in. Like, we don't know what other people go through, so why should we compare ourselves to someone else? Someone else might have it harder in another aspect. So I feel like that's also really important to remember. Like, don't compare yourself to other people. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know other things that they struggle with. So you can get through it. And truly, my relationship with God has strengthened my faith so much, because if it wasn't for God and his encouraging voice and everything in the Bible and all of the encouragement that he gives me, I would not be who I am today. And so I wouldn't be able to get through really difficult times. But I like to show him that I'm capable. I know that with him, he's there to help me. Prayer is going to help you so much, like praying for yourself every day, praying for things to, you know, for you to be able to handle it. And I also want to preface, sometimes God won't take away the situation you're in, but he'll get you through it. Just like the people in the wilderness, he's not going to take away sometimes the situation or the hurt or the pain, but he's absolutely going to be there with you to get you through it and with you through it. And I think that is, and the learning point of today of what I wanted to say, like, God is going to be with you through the hard times. Like, when I tore my ACL, I begged for him to take away my pain. I begged for him to do a miracle. I begged for him to help me, you know, just have it not be torn. And I knew it was possible, but for my situation, it just wasn't the case. It was torn, and so I needed his strength through it, and he was with me every single step of the way. He showed me how to depend on him. And so there's definitely different lessons you'll learn through hard things if you just don't give up and you lean on God, lean on your faith, lean on that, lean on the faith of him and the hope that he gives us. And it also kind of goes hand in hand with Easter, which is approaching on Sunday. It's Friday, or no, it's Thursday today, tomorrow's Good Friday, and so it goes hand in hand with the fact that when Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus had the weight of the world, literally the weight of the world on him, and he too was human and he asked his Father, he said, if you could take this cup from me, will you? I ask you to take it from me. I don't want to do this, because he knew it was going to be painful. He knew that it came with him having to follow through with what he's asking of him. And there's nothing wrong with asking God to take away your situation or to do a miracle in your life or to do something like that. But if he doesn't, I think that's when we get discouraged. And I think oftentimes there's a reason why he doesn't take it away. We don't have all the answers, but if he doesn't take something away, it's because he's not gonna leave you stranded. He's gonna be there with you through the situation. Like, throughout every step of my life, he's been there with me. Through every single hard thing, he's been there with me. So I have that as an encouragement to you, because you're not alone and he is there. And if you ask him to show himself to you, he will. And every single test I took, he was with me. Every single scary doctor's appointment I had for my knee, he was right there giving me peace and comfort and joy. And somehow, some way, he was making things go in my favor. And you know, the recovery wasn't as difficult. It was a little bit more smooth. And so there were so many blessings that I saw God through it. And if anything, it's literally just made me so much stronger. It's made me who I am. It gives you character. It gives you a little bit of grit, you know, and it's inspiring. I think you're going to be inspiring to people when you go through hard things and you can say you came out through it and you're not a victim and you're still kind to people and you can show yourself love and you can show that you can overcome these things. That's a really big deal. That's something that you can hold your head high about. You can have so much love for yourself because of those things. And just because something goes hard for you doesn't mean you can't get through it. And so that is how I'll end it. and the fact that Jesus did end up dying for us and it saved the whole world, your story's also gonna inspire so many people. Like, you're probably not going through this because it's just about you. It's probably about the people you're gonna help because you went through it. And that's also linked to your purpose. So don't take it like it's necessarily a bad thing because hard things are hard to do. Take it like it's something you can overcome and you can get through it. But this was just your daily encouragement, because I know there's moments when you do want to just throw in the towel. You do want to give up on that dream. You do want to give up on yourself. You want to stop going to the gym, or you want to give up on the dream you had that you wanted to start a business, or you know, people are just doubting you, or you want to drop out of school because it's hard. But here's your sign to not do it. Here's your sign to keep pushing through, push through the hard times, and lean on God, lean on the faith of Him, lean on the fact that He did rise and He literally overcame death, which is the reason we are to live. He died so we could live. It's the gospel. He did it so that you could have, you know, abundance. The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, but Jesus, He comes to give us life and life abundantly. And so with that, just remember that just because it's hard doesn't mean that there's not going to be a blessing through it. So just hang on in that moment and remember that. And here's your sign to not give up. And that is about all I have for you guys today. I hope that you guys enjoyed and you recreate this little makeup look. If you do, tag me in it. I also blew out my hair, so I feel like it's giving like Victoria's Secret if I was only like 12 inches taller, but it's all good. Love you guys. I'll see you in my next video.